His words are cut short as the burly man known as Rodrigo lifted Sammy straight off his feet. Thank you for joining me today on the first installment of my writing series. You may have already seen some of the shorts I made about the book Meditations from Marcus Aurelius. And I think the reason I wanted to start with something like this, because it really drives home that principle that some of the best writing we can do is meant to be very personal. And these personal writings from this emperor were never meant to be seen by the public, and yet they end up being really one of the foundations for an entire philosophy. And there's more examples of that in history, such as one of the most famous is Anne Frank's diary. There's also things like Thomas Jefferson's Bible, where he was able to look at religion in a way that really wasn't widely accepted. But these were personal writings that people had. It was their way of having in-depth conversations essentially with themselves. And in those in-depth conversations, they were really uncovering what literature itself is all about, which is the human condition. And that's why writing to me is so important, and why I wanted to create a community where we can really share the writing experience. And there's no qualifier for being a great writer. I think everybody has a unique experience when it comes to writing. And more importantly than that, the beneficiary of writing is yourself. That's first and foremost. When you write, whether you're journaling, doing a bit of creative writing, doing some poetry, no matter what it is that you're creating with your writing, it's a way to put your thoughts, emotions, and put them in a more tangible medium so that we can really grasp them and deal with them properly. And so in this series, I'll be doing a lot of creative writing just for fun. And I invite you to also join me, maybe pick up some paper or get on a computer and do some typing, whatever you prefer. But what I normally advise is just put a timer on for 15 minutes and do a little bit of writing. You'd be very surprised what you can come up with. And the best part is you never have to show anybody. I will be presenting what I finish in those 15 minutes at the end of this, but it really is a great experience that you can do by yourself with your friends. And if you're looking for a place to get started, I did create a prompt book. It just has some very fun prompts and images that you can use to get you started on the correct path. I do have the one on my website, earthquakepublishing.com, the PDF version, which is good if you're on the go or you just want to have that digital version. If you want a physical copy, you can also go to my website or look it up on Amazon. I'll put the links down in the bio. The physical copy does have room for you to write, so that is very convenient if that's kind of the thing you're looking for. I'll be writing out of one of the prompt books, so you can go ahead and grab your favorite snacks, your favorite drinks. I personally just have a cup of coffee here. Maybe throw on some music and go ahead and enjoy a little bit of writing. I'm going to do a quick camera check, and then we'll get right into it. So once you have everything set up, I highly recommend a little timer. You're ready to get started. It's that simple. Whether you're using a stack of paper or you're going to be using a device to type, whatever your preference is, what I love most about writing is the availability for anyone to do it. And so we're going to go ahead and get our prompt. Again, you can follow along here. If you have your own prompt, I just invite people to take the time and opportunity to create something for themselves. And I think that's a beautiful thing to do. So we're just going to open up to the center. I'm not particularly worried about where we land. We're going to let the prompt guide us anyways. So we're here on prompt 14 of the book. And it says, after nuclear fallout, a constant world-engulfing sandstorm is the new norm. A band of survivors uncover a map to a subterranean city untouched by time. And I always love the images that are in here. When I was creating this, it really was something that I always desired from other prompt books that I had used. I really just wanted those images to kind of put me into that setting, that place. And so that way I'm not struggling with a lot of the world creation, and I'm a little bit more focused on the storyline itself. So I'll set this aside for us to have in the background. I'll go ahead and open up something for me to write on. I'm all set up with what I need. So I'm going to go ahead. Like I said, it's as simple as setting a 15-minute timer, which is exactly what we have running right here. I'm going to go ahead and set that timer, and we can go ahead and start. The prompt like this one, I was really focused in on the broken down society and wanting to showcase just how defeated these individuals were. A lot of times when I'm starting out on writing, I attempt to pick out the characters in a general sense and give them a direction. What I often find is once I've established the characters and placed them in the setting, they'll really start to take a life of their own. And it gets to a point where I feel more as though I am, say, telling the stories of these characters rather than making them up. And once you get into that groove, you'll notice you really start going. You become silent. It's that you enter that flow state, and then all these ideas start coming into your head. It's almost as if you're recalling a memory, and suddenly you just can't stop, and you just keep writing. And it's really one of the great joys of writing is entering one of those states and being able to become so invested into what's going on and really enjoying the process of everything. I think another big thing about it is not being too tied down to any details. You can always go back and change them. It doesn't have to be a perfectly cohesive story. This is a fun activity for you to do and enjoy. And here we are nearing the end of the writing session. Hopefully, it went well for you. Let's see how I did. I'm gonna go ahead and spare you the noise of this, so we'll go ahead and pause that right there with 2 seconds left. I'm gonna finish up my last sentence. Like as I said earlier, there's no rules for this that are going to dictate whether you did well or not. It really comes down to this is just an expression of your personal self. So take joy in it. If we have to bend the rules a little bit to enjoy ourselves, so be it. I quickly changed the battery on the camera. I went ahead also and cleaned up my words a little bit, just so I can go ahead and read that to you. Again, there's no necessarily rules to any of this. You can do whatever you like. So without waiting anymore, I'll go ahead and read what we came up with. Heavy boots caused thuds and creaks to escape the dusty floor. The group walked to the table hurriedly, leaving a cloud of dust in their wake. The center man, larger than the rest, but his hands cupped a delicate object, as if holding a newborn. The rest gathered around the table as he placed the object in the center. The room grew silent, staring timidly, both in fear and awe of what laid in front of them. Sweat was dripping down nearly all of their brows, mixing with the dust and leaving brown mud trails on their skin. One of the group members lifted a hand holding a lighter, and in one smooth motion flicked the light on. In the center of the table was a scroll. Even rolled up, it appeared translucent, as if it could turn to dust itself at any moment. The largest of the group finally reached over through the thick silence and rolled the scroll open. Every line revealed on the scroll made the group's eyes grow larger and larger with excitement. It was a map. Clear as day. Well, not these days, but clear as days of the past. Names written over mountain ranges, grid lines for measuring distance, even a compass at the bottom right to give a reference point. Finally, a voice broke the silence. A woman's voice. Yes, Max was right. This will lead us to the city of beyond. Her voice was firm and strong. She had learned to make it that way over years of leading this small group of survivors. The most rebellious of the group retorted, Max always talked about dreams and visions. Are you supposed to have us believe that this place really exists? I say no. Look around, Captain. The world went to shit a long time ago, and there is no secret world. It's pixie dust. Nothing. Nada. Zip. It was all in his head, and we are all gonna end up just like him if we keep going down this path. That his words are cut short as the burly man known as Rodrigo lifted Sammy straight off his feet. Rodrigo, it's okay. You can put him down, the leader responded. Rodrigo dropped the man but never took his mean glare off him. Sammy stayed silent, but massaged his neck in pain. Sammy is just tired. We all are. I don't blame him, but this map is all the proof I need. I've asked so much from all of you, and if the scale is right on this map, we are in for one hell of a journey. So I want to make it clear. I intend to pursue the city beyond at all costs. Those who do not feel the same, you are free to my command and of all outstanding debts. Those who stay with me, I promise you an equal share of any riches we find. The group of men shuffled and murmured in quiet discussion, their concerned voices growing louder and louder. Rodrigo was the first to step forward, silent in his action, but everyone knew he was in. Sammy, surprisingly, stepped forward as well. Screw it. If we are gonna die, it might as well not be in this hellhole. Soon, more and more of the group stepped forward, until they were all standing amidst the captain. Well, gentlemen, grab your goggles, shovels, and any water. We have a city to find. And there it is. I'll go ahead and post that entire story on my website, earthquakepublishing.com, under the blogs. Again, this is the first installment, so there won't be a whole lot there, but I promise these will keep coming out. If you follow along and you wrote your own story, whether it was in 15 minutes or more or less, feel free to email us or put your story down in the comments. Again, you can find the prompt book in the link below. We have the physical copy on Amazon that has area for you to write on, as well as the PDF version if you're more interested in keeping it all digital. Thank you for watching and enjoying a little bit of time here with me. It's a pleasure to write as well as being able to share with someone else. I hope you find a little bit of time to write for yourself, and see you in the next video. Thank you.